All right, welcome back. Chicky and Pete, Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920, The Jersey. We're powered today by Corona Light and broadcast through the Princeton Orthopedic Associates Studios. 4:17 is the time at Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown. My staff is enjoying a lot of crab fries right now, and hopefully Eagles fans will be eating some crab fries coming up this weekend and be enjoying some good football, something we haven't seen a whole lot this year as the Eagles will play the Ravens. And now joining us from 105.7 The Fan, a great morning talk show host there. That is Rob Long, who joins us right now. Rob, Zach Gelb, appreciate a few minutes. Thanks for the time, and how are you?
I don't know about crab fries, but you can have some crab cakes in Baltimore. I'm doing well. How are you?
I love it. I'm actually going down to that area in a few weeks, and I was there a few weeks ago, so I'll definitely have to get some crab cakes and all that stuff, so I love it. But I'm doing great today. Really, I just want to get one thought that's being thrown out here, and I don't really buy it because I know John Harbaugh is a really good coach, but there's some Eagle fans that have a glimmer of hope that maybe this Ravens season turns out to be a disaster in the next 3 games, and then the Ravens fire John Harbaugh, and then the Eagles will fire Doug Peterson and bring back John Harbaugh. Any chance John Harbaugh is shown the door in Baltimore?
Not this year. If they tank right now, he'll be on watch next year. In fact, I'll go one step farther. If they don't get to the playoffs this year, it'll be John Harbaugh watch next year. I mean, keep in mind, since 2012, this team has failed to make the playoffs every year with the exception of 2014. 2013, they didn't make it. 2015, they didn't make it. And they're in jeopardy right now not making it in 2016. And, this is a what have you done for me lately league, so you can't keep resting on what you did in 2012, make it to the Super Bowl, and you made it to the postseason by the skin of your teeth that year. So, if there's a John Harbaugh watch next year if he doesn't make it to the postseason. If he makes it this year, then he calls the dogs off probably until the end of that contract.
So you have the Eagles game this Sunday, then you're in Pittsburgh. That's going to be a big game for you guys, and then you finish up the year in Cincinnati. Do the Ravens make the playoffs?
I think it's tough because I think Pittsburgh's going to be tough, and we've already beaten Cincinnati, snapping a 5-game winning streak against the Ravens for Cincinnati. I think it's going to be tough for this team to make it. Pittsburgh's defense is starting to look good, and we know what that offense can do with Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger, and Le'Veon Bell. It's going to be tough. Losing to New England Patriots was a big blow to this team because now they find themselves mathematically a game back of Pittsburgh. Fortunately, if they win Sunday and beat Pittsburgh, it's tied record, but they own the tiebreaker. But, they've got to beat Pittsburgh. And the thing that scares me about the Eagles is that a trap game? And we say National Football League players don't look ahead, but come on. Pittsburgh Steelers on Christmas Day, against a struggling Eagles team this weekend. There's someone on that 53-man roster that's looking ahead. Hopefully for the Baltimore Ravens, not enough people on that 53-man roster looking ahead.
Well, I could tell you, just watching the Eagles every game this year, if you don't beat the Eagles, you don't deserve to go to the playoffs because this is a team that's struggling right now. They have so much of a talent issue. There's holes at the offensive line. They have no wide receiver, really, besides Jordan Matthews. The cornerbacks have been a disaster. And really, from the Eagles' perspective, when we look at it, it's about the next 2 draft classes, and Howie Roseman, a big point of emphasis is going to be on him to get the right players in the next 2 drafts, and also someone that you know very well, former Ravens personnel man in Joe Douglas. So what can you tell us about Joe Douglas?
Joe Douglas knows what he's doing. It's just a matter of having the right people around him to do what he's supposed to do. I agree with you. The GM is under the microscope right now, but, maybe Joe's the next guy in line. But I'm telling you, he knows what he's doing. He's been recruited by, and in my opinion, one of the best in the business, Ozzie Newsome. But something that you said at the start of your statement is if you don't beat the Philadelphia Eagles, you don't deserve to go to the playoffs. Not only are the Eagles struggling, but they're not very good on the road. So I second that. If they don't beat the Philadelphia Eagles at home, then they don't deserve to go. And not only just beat the Eagles, but the fact that not only the Eagles struggling, but they haven't been good on the road at all. That's a game that the chips are stacked in your favor. You've got to win that game. And I'm not taking the Eagles lightly at all because I think Carson Wentz is going to be a very good quarterback, and I think it's going to be a good Eagles team. But right now, they're not, and you've got to win that game at home.
Rob Long with us from 105.7 The Fan on the Zach Gelb Show. That was a defense that got shredded by the New England Patriots last week, and if it wasn't for some special team blunders by the Patriots, that game would have been very lopsided. Watching that game on Monday night. Just where is the confidence of this defensive unit? Yes, we know the Eagles' offense isn't that good, but after a game like that, where's the confidence level at?
I think the confidence level is still high. You know what I mean? Because the one thing you can sell is you go up against Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Anyone who goes up against them and has a bad day, if your confidence is shattered, then shame on you. You know, you get on to Carson Wentz and company and you say, as you said, a depleted talent-wise, a depleted Philadelphia Eagles offense. You know what I mean? Your confidence should come back because, you know, there's no shame in being picked apart by Tom Brady. He's done it against the best. He's a Hall of Famer. If their confidence is shattered by that, shame on them and shame on the coaching staff.
Well, let's get to these quarterbacks because they do have similar backgrounds. Joe Flacco coming from Delaware, FCS quarterback. Carson Wentz, we're going through the same thing right now in Philadelphia from North Dakota State, an FCS school. I looked up Flacco's first-year numbers, 14 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. Wentz right now, 13 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. What do you remember from the first year of Joe Flacco? Because right now we've seen the ups and downs of Carson Wentz.
First of all, let me say this. It's funny you say that because I was looking at Carson Wentz's numbers today on the show, and I said the same thing. I said, kind of looks like Joe Flacco's rookie year, doesn't it? I said the same thing. It's funny you say that. What I remember from Joe Flacco's rookie year is ups and downs, the trials of a guy who was going through his ups and downs. But what he had was guys like Willis McGahee and LaRon McClain was on his football team as well, a sensational running game. If you remember, his running game was so good. Ray Rice was the third running back on the roster. He also had a great defense led by guys like Bart Scott, Ray Lewis, Chris McAllister. He had some great guys on his defense. I think Chris McAllister actually may have got cut halfway through that year. But he had some great guys on defense, and that's really what led this football team. But it was the running game. If you remember the Dallas Cowboy game when the team was kind of in flux, teetering around 500 season, they had a couple of long runs against the Cowboys to shut that building down, the old Cowboy Stadium. And it was really the running game that kind of aided Joe Flacco. This team was a more complete team than the Philadelphia Eagles team is right now. The team kind of carried Joe Flacco. The Eagles team is kind of in a position where they need Carson Wentz to be more productive than the Ravens did Joe Flacco his rookie year.
I agree, and it's going to be a very tough spot for the next 3 games. You just want to see this protection improve because you want Wentz to finish up these 3 games healthy and maybe show some signs towards the end. I think he's going to be a pretty good quarterback. You said that as well. Why do you think Carson Wentz is going to be such an exceptional quarterback?
Accurate, and he can make every throw on the field. Let me say this. I only played defensive back in high school, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm a pro defensive back. But the one thing that scared me when I faced quarterbacks that could make all the throws is as a DB, I had to cover every inch of the field. And that's what you have to do with Carson Wentz, and that's tough. When you have to complete every route of the wide receiver, you get beat on a lot of double moves and stutter steps. And that's what you can do with Carson Wentz because he can make all the throws. You can't half step if you're a DB. And he's very accurate. And what I see is he's a smart quarterback as well. He's going through some trials right now, just like Dak Prescott is in Dallas. The only thing is, again, that running game with Dak Prescott and that offensive line. Carson Wentz is not blessed with those 2 things right now. But rookies go through, especially rookie quarterbacks, they go through that rookie season, that hit that rookie wall, and that's where he is right now. He'll come through it. Next year, he'll be better. The year after that, he'll be sensational.
Wrapping up with Rob Long, who joins us Morning Drive, 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. An underrated storyline.
And I like the guy. I like the guy, and I'll say this. I'm glad the Cleveland Browns whiffed on him because they'd be a better team with him.
Any quarterback that goes to Cleveland, it's not a good sign. So, Rob Long,
you're right.
A very underrated storyline, and I know it's special teams. I'm a football nerd, so I always look at special teams, and you know how important they are. Watching that game last Monday against New England, you have 2 very good kickers in this game.
Yes, you do, and Justin Tucker's not underrated in Baltimore. He's the only guy that's commercials are in heavy rotation with Royal Farms chicken. He has a lot of swag. This guy he is as good as he knows he is. Let's just say that. He's probably one of the cockier kickers in the National Football League. The punter from Oakland, whose name escapes me right now, is known for his antics. Justin Tucker's not far behind. He's outstanding. And he's a guy that, again, once you get on the other side of the field, on the opponent's side of the field, you're 5 yards away from probably getting in his range.
Just because you talk about a personality like a Justin Tucker, we also know another personality in Baltimore is Steve Smith. Just what's it like to cover Steve Smith?
Oh, my God. Steve Smith will hold you accountable. The media, the players in his locker room, the coaching staff, he will hold you accountable. The one thing I wish about Steve Smith, though, he's getting a lot of personal foul penalties because he keeps yapping. He's becoming an angry old man a little bit. I love Steve, but Steve needs to remember that he needs to play within the confines of the game and stop with so many penalties, unnecessary penalties. But I love him because he will hold you accountable. Not only that, he shows up every Sunday to play football, and that's what I love about Steve Smith Sr.
Now, Rob, I know you got to run, but before we let you go, give me a prediction, a score, and why you think it's going to be that way on Sunday.
I'm actually going, I think the score I picked was 24-16, Ravens. I think, again, the Eagles are struggling. I don't think the Ravens' offense, I think what you saw against Miami was kind of a fluke. I don't think the Ravens' offense is that kind of offense that can really blow you out. Philly, with the way they're struggling on the road, I just don't think they can do enough. I think it's more about Philly not being able to do enough to beat the Ravens than the Ravens doing enough to put Philly away.
Rob Long, appreciate the time. Thanks so much, my friend.
Thank you. You are the man. Anytime.